We got people upstairs still shopping, and I know they're going to be coming in, and I know a lot of you are watching online, so it's good to have you here. Keith, are we rolling? We are rolling. I got spots in front of my eyes from this thing, so welcome. It is the first Sunday of Advent. My name is Mike Kinman. My pronouns are he, him. Welcome to the forum here at All Saints Church. We got folks coming in. If you aren't here, if you're watching us online, actually, if you are here, oh, that's much better. Thank you. If you are here, remember the alternative Christmas market? Yeah, whatever you just did and turned off and on, there you go. Thank you. If you're the alternative Christmas market is upstairs, and this was the largest alternative Christmas market we have ever had. So if you are, if you're in your car, I hope you're listening and not watching while you're driving. But please make your way over here for the alternative Christmas market. And a wonderful centerpiece of this year's alternative Christmas market is Thistle Farms. And every year we are so honored and thrilled to welcome Becca Stevens and folks from Thistle Farms here. And I'm just going to turn it over to you, Becca, and have you talk about Thistle Farms and talk about kind of what we're going to be doing this morning.
Absolutely. Good morning, everybody.
You got to turn your mic on.
Is this on?
That's on.
Yes. Oh, perfect. Good morning. Good morning. First of all, just thank you for having us. For those of you who don't know, Thistle Farms is a global movement for women's freedom. It started in 1997 with one house in Nashville, Tennessee, and we invited 5 women to come in and stay and create community. And the 5 women that came really became the leaders and shapers of what developed into a workforce program, outreach program, networking, developing now. We're in open 62 communities in different cities. It's the largest network of long-term housing for women. We have 36 global partners that we work with, and it's growing all the time. And it's been this just journey of a love story. That's the best way I can say it. And I think, if you can think of Thistle Farms, you just can think of housing and jobs for women from Nashville to anywhere in the world that we can make a friend. The Episcopal Church really hasn't embraced Thistle Farms nationally like I think it should, because really it is the diocese and the consistent churches that have helped carry this movement for us. And it's been amazing to see, the Diocese of Oklahoma, the Diocese of Western North Carolina, the Diocese of New Orleans, the Diocese, start to embrace and grow this in a way that has some depth and meaning. So, while I have, in many ways, I've been a chaplain for 30 years in the Episcopal Church. 32 years. I'm an ordained clergy person. And I have not been embraced by my own diocese in any way, shape, or form for decades. But I think it has been this national Episcopal embrace that's kept me going. For sure. And so to have our West Coast friends have been a huge gift to us. So it has been a love story that's been growing and leading. And so what I wanted to do this morning with our time together to talk about this beautiful love story that we are writing together. In this chapter of it, I've invited my 3 colleagues to share a story about the 4 products that we brought out here, or 3 of the products that we brought out here, and hear about kind of where we are at Thistle Farms. These are all new products that have a new spin on the oldest story in the world. Good morning. Good to see you. I'll just talk to y'all. So, Susan and Robin. So what I wanted to do is just ask you to share your story with this one new product, and how is it part of the love story, and what is your relationship to it? And the first person I'm inviting to share a story is a woman I've known for almost 15 years. Ty came to Thistle Farms. She can tell you a little bit about her story, but she came for about a year and a half, and then the court system decided to sentence her to 14 more years in prison. And she came back, and she could honestly deliver a master's course in what forgiveness looks like on a million different levels. She is a teacher, she's a mentor, she's a peace lover. She is the director of operations, the bath and body care manufacturing aspect of Thistle Farm. She manages a group of women who are pretty fresh in trauma and brings a peace that passes understanding. If you ever want to understand what that gospel means, you just need to hang out with Ty for a little bit. And so, Ty, tell us about the love story of the product you brought, and tell us a little bit about yourself and how it's been about healing for you. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Ty. I am a 2015 graduate, and
What does it mean to be a graduate?
it means everything to be a graduate.
I mean, what does it mean you did to be a graduate?
I completed a 2-year residential program where everything was free. Dental, vision, sex therapy, like sexual assaults, domestic violence, taught me how to eat healthy. I'm not doing too good right now, but just therapy and taking care of mental issues from trauma. It changed my whole entire life. So as Becca said, when I came, I was already in trouble. And so I was there for a whole year doing every single thing I was supposed to do. And they didn't care. So they sentenced me to 14 years. I did 3 years in one day. And I had been in and out of jail, and that was my 3rd trip to prison. And so this time it was different for me because I would go to prison, I would get out. I would go to a halfway house. And at the halfway houses, they charge you anywhere from $125 to $150 a week. And so not having a whole lot of experience work experience, because of my history, it was hard for me to find a job and to make decent money. So during the time that I was in prison this is when I really found out that love does truly heal. And so people from the program and the staff, they wrote me, they visit. The letters kept me going, the visitation kept me going. They made sure that I had the things that I need to survive in prison. And it was just awesome. And so that's why I was so forgiving, because maybe it was a little curse, but it was a gift that I did not even see coming. And so coming back to Thistle Farms, I started off with the candles, making candles. And so every day we light this candle, and I'm gonna do that. So we light this candle every day for the men and the women that's still out there suffering, and hope that they can see the light and find their way home. And we keep this candle lit for the women that lost their way, or the men that lost their way, and hope that they find their way back. And I promise you it does work, because I've seen a lot of people leave but find their way back. And I had no idea that this candle was burning for me long before I ever heard anything about Thistle Farms. So I'm so happy to be collaborating with EJI and Homeboys on the Justice Candle. It's everything, and I'm glad that they have something for men also. But the candles, I started off being the candle maker, and every time I pour a candle, I pour with love, and with a whole lot of hope and prayers. And it's been life-changing for me. Thistle Farms has transformed my whole entire life. Just like I said, being somewhere to come, serene, and have time to heal and to gain skills. So from being the cabinet maker, I ended up being production manager, and then director of manufacturing. And then so never in my wildest dreams, I did put in the work. I love work, I love the community. But when they asked me to be director of operations, that was like, wow, me. But I've been there for 10 years, and there's no other place like it. I just absolutely love the women. I can watch me. I watch me come through the doors. I was one that didn't have a voice. I I kept my head down. I was scared of everything. It was just due to the trauma that I went through. And so, but then you have other women that are a little aggressive. Some people do not like taking directions, but
Don't y'all love how she's saying it just like really calmly? There are a few women who are pretty aggressive and don't like taking directions.
but
Do y'all get an image in your head of what she's really saying? Okay, this is how she's the peace guru of the entire community. But go ahead.
But,
So they don't like taking directions.
but it's cool. You know, come as you are, and it's gonna be okay. And so to watch the women transform. So we have someone now that is production manager and training coordinator, and I'm not gonna call her name, but
What's her first name?
Charlie. So Charlie came in, and Charlie struggled for a while. She struggled staying clean. And what I love about Thistle is they just don't throw you out. You know, they provide you with the resources to get yourself together. They do remove you from the home and put you in a safe place until they find your bed and treatment, and then they allow you to come back. So she struggled in that way, and she also struggled with directions, okay? And she had like a really, really quick temper. And so we never, ever let her go. And we just kept loving on her. And so it just brings joy to see her sit in the office. And honestly, I saved that desk for her for a whole year just waiting. And she just learned, like, the program taught her how to control her anger, how to walk away, how to take deep breaths. And so now she's doing the same thing with people that come in. It was just like her. So it's amazing to see, but it's amazing to see the women get college degrees, their GEDs, license, cars. A good friend of mine just got married Friday. You know, she's from Knoxville. She works in Becca's department. So just to see everybody just transform, it's amazing. And it has been everything to me. So I go to work every day, and every day is not always really easy. Sometimes it's challenging, but it's still rewarding to get through the day. We bought some of those justice candles, and I hope that we sell them, every last one of them. It's good to be back at All Saints. I haven't been here in years. Thank you, Mike. Thank you for always inviting us. So dinner was fantastic last night. I really did enjoy myself. But thanks everybody, and thanks for your support. Please come to the table. I'm not going to talk about the product. I think somebody else is. About 80 of them. My goal is to sell everything at the table. Thanks.
Ty's not going to be able to stay with us. She's going to go back upstairs, and Kristin is going to be able to come down. We're still trying to sell stuff even as we're talking. That's the nature of the work of the Lord. So the next, thank you, Ty. She'll be up there to answer any questions, anything you want. The next person that has had a huge impact on Thistle Farms is also known as your rector. I got to go with him to Nepal this summer. And seriously, we were always good friends, but getting food poisoning with somebody really bonds you in a way. It was so bad, y'all. It was so bad. It was whatever was in that one molecule of food. It was like Mount Vesuvius. It was crazy. And I saw Mike the next morning, and he had bruises on his arms from how bad it was. And I was like, I feel you. I know this. So I love you, like in a deep way now that we had survived food poisoning in Nepal this summer together. But also he has had influences in other ways on this community and what it looks like. It's really been his support that allowed us to this year finally, after 26 years of being in community, is to have our first trans women come into the program. We have 2 beautiful, amazing women who have joined the community, and it's been a journey for the whole community, especially just around different issues on housing and counseling and what that looks like and how people are together, and to be very sensitive of people's needs and how to really serve people well. And I just want to thank you for how you changed Sheila's ability to move forward on that endeavor. So without further ado, tell us about your love story in relationship to this amazing product for sale upstairs.
So, first of all, thank you so much. And Thistle Farms, Becca, you and I met at a conference in 1998 when Thistle Farms didn't even exist. It was Magdalene. And it has, for the last 25 years, it has been, for me, the model of what church should be and what church is. And I've always said, if my entire life imploded and I was rejected by the entire world, I know what I would do, which is I would go to Nashville and I would come to Thistle Farms and I would be welcomed in. No matter what I had done or what, I would be welcomed in. And to me, that's the model of church. And so I'm deeply grateful. I did a forum a couple weeks ago on my trip to Nepal and India, so I'll try not to cover too much of the same ground. But I do want to talk about these scarves, which are absolutely gorgeous. And I know those of you who are here can come up and, oh, thanks, Frannie. Yeah, pass around so people can feel it. It is the softest thing you are ever going to want to feel in your life. It is amazing. And they come in these wonderful little bags. And they're from a place called Local Women's Handicrafts. And we visited the place where these were made in Kathmandu. And the love story piece of this is we were guided through this by a young woman named Shaheen. And Shaheen, you go around the world and you meet these most powerful, creative, amazing people, women, men, non-binary folks. And Shaheen was, how old was Shaheen? She was like 20-something, maybe? They all look so young. Well, as I get older, they all look younger and younger. So, but she had escaped from her village, where if she had stayed there, she would have probably, age 14 or 15, she would have been married, and that was the rest of her life. And she escaped so that she could build a life for herself. And she was rejected completely by her family for doing this. And then she has continued to bring other young women out of her village, and they come to Local Women's Handicrafts, and they learn the skills to make these beautiful, beautiful things. But that also gives them the economic power that matches or starts to begin to match the power that they have inside them, which is a power that the world tries to deny, the power the world tries to pretend is not there. And to watch her, the products are amazing, but they pale in comparison to watching, I wish I could take you all there, watching Shaheen walk around and tell the story and introduce us to the other women. And it is a remarkable thing, and maybe some of us in this room have felt this ourselves, when you've been told your entire life that you are not worthy and you are not powerful, and then you begin to discover that you actually are, and then you begin to trust that feeling that you are. And there is a joy and a coming alive that happens. And then even better, when you get to be part of a process of bringing other people along to discover the power and the creativity and the beauty that is within them and their own ability to create beauty and to bring that out in other people. I think about, we're just coming out of this pandemic of something that's awful that kills. But there is something even more contagious than coronavirus, and that is love. And that is the power that comes from recognizing that we all have incredible power within us and being a part of awakening that love, that beauty, that joy, that power in others. And so I got involved in Thistle Farms again in 1998. I was back when I was doing campus ministry in St. Louis, and I used to bring college students to Nashville, and then we we tried to start a Thistle Farms of Magdalene in St. Louis. And I used to say that it failed, and then I realized, no, it didn't fail. It just didn't have the outcome that we had hoped for and thought, but it had a different one, and that it eventually had to close. But there are women who were touched by it, and every time, something I learned in India was that most of Gandhi's campaigns in the eyes of the world failed. They didn't have the outcome that he had hoped for, and yet it didn't mean that they were a failure. They still touched people. We plant these seeds of ideas and hope wherever we go, and we have no idea how they're going to germinate. And I see that happening here too. But what Thistle Farms Global has done for me is it has been a way for me to integrate several parts of my life. One of the jobs I had between doing campus ministry and coming here to All Saints is I worked for 3 years for an organization called Episcopalians for Global Reconciliation, and we worked all over the world helping people overcome extreme poverty. And the model that we used was not a model of, oh, we have all the answers and we're going to come here and give them to you. It was recognizing that the power, the beauty, the strength, the answers were already resident in the hearts of people. And it was going in and basically connecting them with each other and helping that process of awakening happen, and realizing that process of awakening happens too. And what Becca and you all have been able to do for me is help me find a way to integrate that sense that this power of love is a global, and I want to say a universal phenomenon. And that's what gets me excited about a place like All Saints, where we have for decades had global relationships. And I love seeing that part grow. And so I encourage you, as I've watched the marketplace of Thistle Farms grow, and I want you to say a little about shared trade, because that is shared trade, which Becca will talk about in a little bit. It is a transformative concept that allows people to actually reap the benefits of their labor in a just way. And it is a concept that can literally transform the global economy, and it is just amazing to be a part of it. And now I'm just rambling and preaching, so I'm gonna stop. So yes, so thank you. And these are amazing scarves, and you get this beautiful little bag with it.
And it's only, how much is it?
60, is it? Or no, 75.
$75.
It's a bargain.
For a hand-knit scarf and silk bag. That's what I got Kristin for her present. Isn't it? It's so beautiful.
It is, and I noticed the one hasn't made it back. I think I just bought a scarf. So.
We bought one of these for my sister-in-law's birthday.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. We bought one for your sister-in-law's birthday in Rochester. It looks like we've just bought another one. So put this on my tab.
Oh,
So,
Lord, a tab. I know how people do on tabs. Hey,
No, keep wearing it.
Keep it.
Keep it. That's yours.
I'll buy it for you.
That's yours.
You won't. It's really great on planes too. If y'all ever fly, because it's, like when you get cold on different parts, it's thin and warm and can go anywhere on a plane if you're flying. I will say that I think, and I'm happy Kristin has joined us. Kristin is also a beautiful graduate of Thistle Farms. She is the director of the Founders Outreach, meaning she coordinates all events around the country and all over the world, and runs the Remnant Project that we were talking about last night, which is a textile history of women's resiliency and survival. She does a million things, but I'm really glad that you're here and get to take a break from that. And it was on purpose that we brought new products here, things that are just developing in the last year or so. And I'm very thrilled to share the last love story of the morning with one of my heroes and mentors and dearest friends that you know well here, Frannie Hall-Kieschnick, who started her journey here at All Saints, and her love story has continued boundlessly with so many people. She has been a huge connector for the community of Thistle Farms. One thing I love about coming to All Saints this is our, 7th yeth? That makes...
One was online because of COVID.
Yeah, but let's just say 7th year, because that's a very good number. 7th heaven. And, when we come, we know people now here. And when people come to Nashville, they come to Thistle Farms, to the cafe and marketplace, and they walk in and it's like, oh my gosh, it's our All Saints family. And when I met Frannie, it was like meeting family. And she has introduced us to tons of people on the West Coast that have helped fund us, that have helped direct and lead us. And that's why both Frannie and Mike Kinman are part of the advisory council that keep us going and doing it. So Frannie, tell us your love story and what you have for us today. I knit my sweater, and so I had to have a matching mic. Do you see that?
Kristin helps everyone in so many different ways, including me. Thank you, Becca. Okay, unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, it is so good to see you all here and to be here at All Saints, which is a place where I was ordained as priest 40 years ago. And we had alternative holiday markets in those days as well. So many memories here. So much of what you said, Mike, rang true for me. My love story with Thistle Farms began when I met Becca, who sprayed me with mosquito spray. You had me at mosquito spray. But even more than that, bringing me back to the booth that was the Thistle Farms booth. And there, it drew me in because of the smell of lavender and the sound of laughter. I think it's Annie Lamott who says that laughter is carbonated holiness. And there is a joie, there is a holiness in the community of Thistle Farms. And let me just say that my product is this adorable, soft, familiar, I have to do many things here after. So Kristin is going to be my model of what's inside, the contents. These are products made from the heart by the women of Thistle Farms, and the stocking I will tell you about as Kristin is revealing the gifts. I mean, this is what you. I just want to show the stocking. Yeah. So, what about this stocking? Thistle Farms has a way of finding the women in community around the world who are trying to make a business work, or who are have suffered from unspeakable violence and have been led to producing a product that they can sell for their livelihood, that not only enables them to have a financial support, the physical part, but the amazing experience of dignity and of agency that a business can provide. And it's not just a business in terms of one person producing a product. It's a collective. It's a gathering, a circle, a community of women who come to do together to do this work. And so let me focus in on the women knitters, who are part of a collective called Love Rising. Where are they from? The Ukraine. February, there was an invasion, as we all know. It's deeply embedded in our hearts. And the response at Thistle Farms, as it is at All Saints, is what can we do? It's about how can we make our prayers and thoughts alive and real? How can we love with action? And it was one of Becca's colleagues at Thistle Farms who went to Ukraine just after the invasion to find out, to support his friends. He'd lived there, he'd served there, to support his friends and to listen to their stories and to hear what might be possible in terms of Thistle Farms and the Center for Contemplative Justice, two amazing communities in Nashville, what they might do to support those who were suffering the impact of that invasion, and to support the people of Ukraine. So he went and he met, amongst many people, a woman named Marina, who knew expert knitters who were just aching to do something to survive, had to leave their homes in the middle of the night and go from the east basically to the west of Ukraine to survive the invasion by escaping being on the front lines. So she gathered together these women knitters and asked them about creating a way to produce products to sell and derive an income and survive. Many with their families to support as well. Scott came back with this story and obviously the contacts with Marina. And from there, Becca inspired people who she thought might be connected with knitting. As you can tell, Becca is a knitter herself. I know, let's just there she's modeling her holiday sweater, which it represents what knitting means to you. It's a healing tool. And so one thing led to another. We ended up creating a circle of people to actually go to Poland to meet with this small circle of expert women knitters who wanted to create a business to produce an income and to find strength for their journey. And it was comprised of an expert knitter from Nashville who owns a store and is kind of legendary for the knitting that she teaches people in the community and for her store, which has a community sense unto itself. And a woman who is going to organize and help to create the business plan. It was Becca, who is Becca. I was blessed to come because I've been a part of trying to birth these enterprises and matchmake, which is what I feel one of my gifts is. I love to matchmake people because we all need to give. We all need to be connected with a way to serve and to live out our love. So we went to Poland and met with these women. There were five of them, led by Marina, 6, but one couldn't come. 6 and one couldn't come. So we gathered together, and in the beginning, because we had learned each other's names online, and we felt a connection, and we had hope for more connection, we hugged each other gently and a little nervously, with only our cell phones to translate, but we had the language of love to share. And in the beginning, there was a lot of just clutching our hearts and looking at each other in each other's eyes. And let me tell you, there was an air of sadness and of just trauma from what the women had experienced. But when they pulled out their knitting, they were in charge. They knew whereof they spoke. And there was an energy there. And we sat in a circle, and Marina, all of a sudden, in the midst of knitting together and talking about how we would help to create this business called Love Rising, Marina rose from her seat and began to sing. And the women joined her in the singing. So together they were knitting. I was rolling yarns of balls of yarn. That's what my knitting expertise involves. But they began to sing. And so in a few days, we connected with them and left with absolutely deep, hearty, in-your-face kisses and hugs of love, saying we won't forget. And they promised to produce product. The war continued. We were riveted, obviously, to the news about what would happen to the women. They had to escape from the bombs down into the basements. So we sent them, what did we send them? Another form of light, headlamps. So that while they were underground in the darkness, they could use the headlamps to keep on knitting. So the story behind, I mean, you buy this, and if you don't know the story, you don't know what I've just told you, the power of love to transform these women's lives. And they don't only, their own lives aren't just transformed, they touch the lives of their families and those around them. Now, in the midst of, am I done? Should I see. Okay. What do you think I should focus on in the two minutes? Okay. I'll go from, I'll identify a part of what I experienced. Love has many languages. We've read books about that. What I love about being in relationship with Thistle Farms, which reaches to the ends of the world now, is a connection with what it means for love to be the most healing power in the universe. And I think of where we are in this world now and how aware we are that the way that we have lived, what we have focused on in our lives doesn't work, doesn't make change, doesn't provide for each person a sense of dignity and possibility, doesn't fill them with courage. These products are an expression of what love can do to heal and surprise us with the power that we, each of us have. As you said, we're each planted with the power of love, which is God. And if we can be the church that Thistle Farms is, we can wreak havoc on what is and become what God dreams of our becoming. So I would love to, where would we go from?
Yes, we're gonna close up because we want to be able to have a few minutes to vest and for you to shop. But I will say two other things. Just thank you, first of all. Thank you. The two things I want to say about the stocking is, the funny thing is, y'all remember we brought blankets one year? That was last year. We brought the blankets, and we decided we really wanted to do a special project just for one season so that they could get a break from doing the blankets. And we decided on Christmas stockings. Folks in Ukraine they don't hang Christmas stockings. You think about the eggs and all these beautiful, elaborate things they do. We had to explain Christmas stockings, which I thought was fascinating. And so we ordered, I think 350 total, and we stuffed 100. And out of that, we brought, I think, 78 here, 78 stuffed stockings. And the idea is that if you wanted to just buy a stocking with all the hand care products and the t-shirt in it, the total cost is $88. If you want us to empty the stocking and just buy the stocking, it's $40, right? They sell for $40. But one of the things that we were hoping is that with all the hospitality you provide for folks on the streets and stuff, that somebody might buy one of these, and we would have these for folks when they came in who are seeking sanctuary, that we would have these Christmas stockings that represent love from around the world. Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I want to say, because we have bought 12 for our current safe haven community, and that community is always changing and new folks are coming in. So in addition to buying one of these for yourself,
$88.
$88,
Which is unbelievable, right?
it's-
Handmade stocking filled for all the people that you don't know who to buy something for. That's it. You're done.
I mean,
you're done. It's got everything.
the story itself is worth hundreds of dollars. It really is, where you think of where this is coming from. And it's amazing. But if you would also want to buy one that we could keep here so that when someone new comes into the community, we can give it to them.
And next on HGTV,
Can I also just say one more thing about this? And Kristin, you and I were talking about this earlier. I don't know about you all, but some Christmas stockings don't expand at the top. So you hardly have any room
wait a second. And it also has that thing to hang it.
yes, to hang it with. So it's like the circle that Thistle Farms is famous for. Now we've got the stockings that will expand to include more stuff.
So kids, tell your parents, I want one of these stockings, because you can put more in it.
Yes, and a lot of times I think the other thing that I know as a mother of people who are now approaching 30s is that you hang on to those stockings for decades, and it's like, let them go. They're not that, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I have some nasty old stockings I still hang up, and this year it gave me the freedom to leave those in the box, and I bought these, and I have these bright new stockings, which is super fun. Anyway, that's not even, the whole point is just we wanted to bring some new stuff, and I wanted to talk just to inspire us about there's still creativity, there's still new life, there's still chapters to write in our collective love story. And that was what it was about. And we can talk about shared trade briefly. Just for 1 minute, I'll do a 30-second thing, which is shared trade is better than fair trade. It's finally a fair share for women. It's looking at the global marketplaces and remembering that the most devalued person in that is the producer. So how do you change the marketplace? You reduce the links in the market chain, and you change the percentages that people are taking in those links. And that's what we've done. So shared trade elevates the value of the producer. We invest in programmatic changes for women producers as well, so that if there's a new skill that needs to be learned, or a way that we can elevate the product and the people and the place that they are, we do that investment in that. And finally, it's about really connecting people. So many times, we were talking about this at dinner last night, a woman might not know that she even has been abused and trafficked, and she doesn't have the language around that. We had a woman that came to us from Brazil who was in Nashville, and she was part of Thistle Farms, and when she first went to Rwanda, of all places, she heard one of the stories, and she said, I am so angry. This woman had, this awful thing has happened to her. And I was like, you know, that's really your story. And she could hear it for the first time, like, oh my God, I can have some compassion for myself and not feel bad that I was adopted and ran away at 12 years old, which is the story she had told herself. And this journey of networking, investing, and changing the global markets is what shared trade is all about. Thank y'all for listening. We are going to be upstairs. We can answer, Kristin knows everything about everything. But we can talk, we can answer questions, we can do whatever. But thank you, All Saints. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike, Kristin, and Frannie. I love y'all. Thank you.
And thank you all. And let's have a goal be that there is not one stocking left on that table to shift back.